Hello and welcome to another video, and the skill tree, it's coming in just a few days. It has been confirmed to be in the May patch. So, what can you do to prepare? There's two main things. We need to first finish off the mechs we already own in terms of their skill tree, and we need to purchase any mechs that we want to double up on. Let's go into those things. So, first off, you should go through your mechs and look at your skills and see where you stand. Now, for example, my Rifleman's here. My Rifleman Legend Killer, I play it a lot, I love the mech. It's finished. I've already got full mastery on it. This is going to get its 91 points refunded. However, my Rifleman 3N, the special version that came with the package, isn't. It's only got 19,900 experience here, and the mastery module slot is not unlocked. So this is a really good example of a mech that I should just get in, play one or two matches on this weekend, and finish off this module slot. Now, if I had basically zero experience on the mech, and I hadn't played it very much, some people may be like, what, you don't play these mechs? But yes, there are some mechs that I just haven't gotten around to playing very much, like the Bushwhackers, for example. If I look at the Bushwhacker hero of mine, I haven't gotten that far in it. I could get a little bit more with my 9,000, but I don't really have the time to fully master this mech out within the weekend. That is where GXP could come into play. So what I'm most likely going to do is on these mechs that I just haven't gotten around to yet, I'm going to use my very large pool of 800,000 GXP, probably a little larger than the average player, but I'm going to master out these mechs so that they get their skill points under the refund ledger. Now, the important part about that is that what you're spending on them right now is purely experience, while these skill points in the future are going to represent both experience and C-bills. So you doing this, in essence, is saving you C-bills down the road. So that's why it's important to get these things mastered out beforehand. But now we can talk about which mechs you want to buy. Now there's two things about this. Whether or not you're going to keep the mech so you can have some variety in your builds, or you can buy it and then flip it so you can immediately sell it afterwards. So you can just have extra points on your existing mechs. If we go into the mech lab here and we go into the select mech, believe it is in my lights, I have, say, I have two Raven 3Ls, I have 3 Arctic Cheetahs. What's going to happen, because I have multiples of those particular mechs, is they're mastered, so they're going to get 91 points, but then I'm going to get 91 points times that many mechs. So for my Raven 3Ls, I'm not going to get 91 points, I'm going to get 182, if my math is correct. So what if I wanted to take those Raven 3Ls and I wanted an additional? I think it's 273. Well, what I could do is I could pop into the store and I could go to the battle mechs and find that Raven 3L here in the lights, if I can actually read, and we could purchase an additional Raven 3L before this occurs. Now, the math behind this is that for 91 points, it's going to cost you just shy of 4.1 million C-bills. If you buy a mech, you're going to get those 91 points, that 4.1 million value. So you can look at this mech and say, hey, if I want an extra copy to keep afterwards, the cost of speccing it up is going to be 4.1. So I can reduce the cost of my mech, in essence, by 4.1. So if we look at this mech and it costs 5.8, well, we can say, really, that's 1.7. That mech is only going to cost me 1.7 million C-bills comparatively, because if I bought it afterwards and had to spec it out, those costs will multiply, where now they're going to subtract from each other. So if you have a mech that you really enjoy and you like putting multiple different builds on it, this is actually a really good time to pick up a spare copy of it. So certain, say, heavies that you're really enjoy putting multiple builds on, like the Warhammer 6R, this mech can run so many great builds that may want different combinations of skills in the upcoming skill tree. you can reduce the cost from 6 million down to just like 1.9. It's great, but that's only if you keep the mech. That's very important. That's only if you keep the mech afterwards. You're going to use those points on it. Alternatively, what you can do is, say you already have 2 6Rs. Say you already had 2 Warhammer 6Rs and they have different builds on them, but you wanted to have a little bit extra points for your Warhammer. Okay, buy an additional Warhammer 6R, don't upgrade it or anything, and then sell it after the mech tree comes in. What that's going to do is, when they do the refund ledger, they'll read you have 3 mechs of the Warhammer 6R. They'll give you 273 points, historical points that you can distribute between your Warhammers in any way. And then you can go and say, well, I'll just distribute those points evenly between the 2 that I already had, and they were fully upgraded, and I will just sell this one that I bought. You can basically purchase a mech for its temporary skill point increase. Now, this is only really economically viable if the mech is 8.2 million or less, because if you buy and sell a mech, you lose 50% of its value just because of the transaction costs. So, if you lose half of the value, but then the points that you gain have a specific value of 4.1 million, as long as the value that you lose is less than 4.1. So if we look at the Warhammer 6R, it is 6 million. The value we would lose from buying and selling this is 3 million, but that is less than 4.1 million. So therefore, buying a Warhammer 6R to get the points and then sell afterwards is a cheaper way of getting skill points than purchasing them in the new system. Not only that, it gives you free experience, so you don't have to grind out the experience for those points in the future. But that's just a few things you can do for your account to prep for the skill tree. I'm going to be going through and basically skilling out every single mech I have missed, and so I get all my points, and doubling up on a few specific mechs that I want extra of. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and good hunting.